Thank you, Fausto. Thank you very much. And thank you, everybody, for joining us this afternoon. I am David Bernard, and I am one of the founders of Equities.com. And sitting with me is Enzo Villani, our Chief Executive Officer. And
hi, everyone.
And we're just going to give you
glad to be here.
Thank you. We're going to give you a brief overview of Equities.com, and it really does fit well with what Ken Fisher was saying. We cover the niche market. Equities.com has been a proponent, a pioneer of covering the small cap markets. As a publisher, the brand has done it since the early 50s, and Equities.com continues to do it today. We refer to discovering the undiscovered, and that's how we think of these companies. Small cap stocks historically create the greatest wealth for investors over the years than any other investments. And as you can see on our slides, Ken Fisher, Warren Buffett, Peter Lynch, which, by the way, they all at one time have contributed or continue to contribute to Equities.com, all say the same thing, that some of the greatest opportunities in the markets are the small cap markets. I'm gonna jump around a little bit and just say one quick thing, and then I'm gonna turn this over to Enzo. And please bear with us. This is our first time actually doing a webinar, so we're not old pros at this. But Equities was the publisher that discovered a small retail chain out of Bentonville, Arkansas in the 50s called Walmart. We were the first publisher to ever write about Walmart, at which time the stock was selling at $5 a share. Since then, I don't even know how many splits it has, and you know, where the market cap was at hundreds of millions, and I don't know how many hundreds of billions it is today, or I believe it's over 100 billion. We were the first publisher to write about a home improvement chain known as Home Depot.
Yep.
And also at $5 a share, trading on the OTC markets. And that's what Equities tries to do every day of our working career. We try to find the hidden gems.
Let's actually take a step back and as you look at the actual small cap marketplace. So this small cap marketplace, actually, there are 10,000 public companies that are listed on the major exchanges. 60% of these public companies are less than 1 billion in market cap. I know we always hear on CNBC and Fox Business News about the Googles and Teslas and the next $1 trillion, you know, who will be the first actual $1 trillion market cap. But there are 6,000 companies that come up to 6 trillion in total market cap that are not covered and not really served. The reason why I came here from actually NASDAQ, I was at NASDAQ for about 7 years. I came and actually joined David because of the opportunity to really cover the uncovered marketplace. There is a lack of media coverage from the major channels. There's a lack of basic information and basic data services, and a lot of the data that is on these public companies is not even accurate. On the Equities.com platform, we allow the issuer to take over their actual profile and actually correct those data sets, and then also add things like videos, social media streams, and so on. There is a chart here that basically shows you that the kind of analyst coverage, you know, the Wall Street analyst coverage for the past 10 years has dropped significantly, and because of that, you have less coverage, less documentation on companies that have more alpha opportunities than the actual mega caps. You might have 30 different research analysts following Apple, or 50. And then once you get south of actually $1 billion, $500 million market cap, you see almost 0 to 1. that is not really a good actual kind of, that's not a good view of the market. It doesn't help you trade. This is where we are focused on, and what we're seeing in the marketplace is that there are different services companies like us that are starting to focus on the small cap, but using the social networks of the internet and groups and these different kind of algorithms to really start to really kind of to bring in data and bring in new types of basic research, not just the fundamental, but other types of research such as actually sediment data, feed data, and just actual kind of public trading information. So I will turn this over now to David for the next part of the presentation.
Let me share with you a little bit of what Equities.com can do to help you as active investors. You can connect with other investors. We have upwards of 500,000 investors a month that utilize Equities.com. And if you register on the platform, you have the ability to network with these other investors, share advice, ask questions. Most importantly, you have an opportunity to connect to what I call our luminaries. By the way, Ken Fisher is an active contributor to Equities.com. And we have hundreds of what we call market luminaries, industry figures that are well-known, well-respected people in the industry. And you have an ability to connect directly to them, ask them questions, and basically friend them. We also offer research, a very unusual type of product that we created. In real time, you can get technical research on any publicly traded company in the United States during market hours within 15 minutes of being accurate. You can get fundamental research on any publicly traded company 24/7. And you can also compare a company against 3 other companies. This is all done with proprietary algorithms that our mathematicians and analysts here at Equities.com have created, where it's an extremely unique product. It's free. There is no charge. All we ask is that you register to take advantage of the product. The other thing that we offer, in some cases, we actually do the work for you. As Enzo mentioned earlier, 60% plus of all the publicly traded companies, by the way, not just in the United States, but around the world, are small cap public companies. What Equities has put together is basically an index of what we call Equities small cap stars. It covers 7 sectors in the market. It has approximately 350 small cap companies on it, and we rank these companies from 1 star to 5 stars, being the best of the best. And then we give you the cumulative data on each of these companies and why, and we explain why they were chosen as an Equities small cap star. So these are just tools and software products that we give you for free. And also, where Enzo mentioned also that companies like Fox News and CNBC, the bulk of all their coverage is mega cap and blue chip companies. And yes, we touch on that, but the bulk of our coverage is small cap companies. I would say 90% of all of our coverage is $1 billion or less in market valuation.
So there's we see this as a really kind of huge opportunity for you as a retail trader. There's a lot of lack of basic information. So we have special events where we have actually the funds, the same actual kind of institutional fund managers, the actual trading funds, the hedge funds that will come to our special events. They'll see actually presentations. We target them. The thing about the Equities platform is that it really is a microcosm with both the institutional trader and the institutional analyst and the retail. So I'm from Wall Street. David's from actually Wall Street. we've actually worked on the street, and the opportunity is to really take a lot of these data sets that are usually held and really kind of out of the price range for most investors, and bring them into a fold where the normal retail investor can actually utilize them. The other thing is that there are companies in the small cap marketplace that you probably never heard of, and some of them are extremely innovative. So the most innovative leading edge companies, the actual cutting edge companies that are actually curing cancer, that are coming up with new high-tech applications, that are doing this new actual kind of agribusiness or space, business. These are all new trends. Most of the billion-dollar market caps on the private company side, like SpaceX, like actually, some of these actual larger firms that are actually well-funded, acquire some of these smaller companies that are actually that are listed on the actual public markets, the NASDAQ, the NYC, and the actual bulletin board. So we know that there's a trend there. We know that these companies are being watched, and we're trying to get you that information so that you have a much better opportunity to really invest in something that's a buy and hold, but it's for the exit strategy of being acquired. This goes into the actual next level of this conversation. And actually, David, you wanted to actually mention this, which is the actual news organization and how we leverage our news organization to really bring coverage to companies.
Well, again, and I'm now repeating myself a little bit, but some of the biggest names on Wall Street, including Ken Fisher, are active contributors to Equities.com. And knowing and understanding our mission, that is to expose the undercovered, and our focus of focusing on small cap companies, they write about these companies, they research these companies, they contribute content, news, and information about these companies. And you can find this all in real time on Equities.com. And as you can see at the bottom of this slide, Sam Stovall, probably one of the most respected guys on Wall Street. He's the head of equity strategy at Standard & Poor's. Is a very active contributor because he believes in the small cap mission. Again, I'm jumping ahead a little bit, but effectively, there's major shifts going on in the world of investing today that most of you are probably not aware of. And there was a law passed yesterday by the Securities and Exchange Commission that really changed the playing field for average investors like myself, retail investors that didn't have an opportunity to buy Facebook 5-6 years ago when they were still private. I didn't have an opportunity to buy Google, prior to its IPO, when they went public and raised, I believe, $50 million. They were a tiny company, and it's known as Reg A. It's part of the Jobs Act. And to kind of give you some examples of what we're talking about here, if you bought Facebook today when it IPO'd, Facebook IPO'd at $100+ billion market cap. They had already priced it into the future. In this case, a year into the future. It took over a year for it to regain that market cap, and you would have paid $38 a share.
Right. So this concept actually segues into the other part of the actual marketplace that we cover, which is the private market opportunities. So because we are focusing with the under $1 billion market cap, we have seen through the Jobs Act this new opportunity in the private markets called the 506C. These are usually a private placement. So now you as a basic investor can invest if you have a certain net worth into these private companies. What David mentioned is the Reg A plus, which is actually a mini public offering. So we expect that companies can raise up to $50 million with a Reg A plus offering, which basically gives them the opportunity to go public. This is a whole new asset class, basically, for traders. And the opportunity lies in the fact that these companies are going to be some of the most venture-based companies out there. So they're taking the concept of crowd finance and crowdfunding, and they're tying it back into going public, but with this actual limited needs for actually public filings. So there's a really huge opportunity, and this will start in June is when the law goes live, or the changes go live. One of the things that we're focused on here is to not only focus on the public companies, small and micro cap, and do this in Canada and the actual U.S., but also focus on the companies that are going to be part of these new venture exchanges, which will be coming out in the next couple of months.
And let me take just one quick moment and explain why this is so important. Today, most of the IPOs are priced 10 years out, meaning like the example I gave with Facebook. In the old days, when I say the old days, going back to the mid-90s, if you look at, let's say, Yahoo's IPO effectively was 53 cents a share, and within 3 years, you would have grown your growth. You would have had 2,000% growth within 2 years. So the IPOs of yesterday, the future growth was not built into the IPO price. So it's sort of going back to the way it was. eBay, when it IPO'd effectively at 74 cents a share, it went up again in 1 year. It went up 2,000%. And I can go on and on with examples like that. And then you fast forward 2010 and 2014, and IPOs like Facebook and Twitter, they're priced for the future. So this now kind of brings it back to the way it was and gives average investors like myself an opportunity to buy these companies when they still have relatively small market caps and inexpensive prices. Again, wealth creation, real wealth creation. And that's what we do at Equities.com.
So let's actually recap this. So there's, this is something new for the normal day trader. The person who's sitting there, really just really, kind of following trends and actually hitting the actual bid and asks. The fact is that 70% of the trading done on the major exchanges is actually through actually black box algos. That's starting to maybe get some type of, there are different laws that might be passed that might slow it down. There are definitely brokerage, kind of trading houses and wirehouses that will let you trade in pools where you don't have to have the actual front-running high kind of, fast traders or the fast money ball traders jumping in. As the retail investor, you don't really win against those guys. So we think that as these venture exchanges start to actually really formulate, the fundamental opportunity for secondary market trading, or for you to trade in these smaller companies, kind of going back a little bit to SOs, if you're that old, there's a bigger opportunity potentially to trade on the fundamentals, because they won't allow, hopefully, the actual fast money to really jump in. So there's a lot of private investment ideas that we're starting to actually tackle. We want you to come to our site, read about it, learn about it. It's just the first stage. It's really early in the game. We will be covering these stories, covering the news, covering the companies. So it'll become a lot faster, a lot simpler. Here's a actual great example. And I think David actually found this one. And it's basically this company that was kickstarted. This was they basically pre-sold the product online on a site called Kickstarter, which is not equity. It's you pre-buy the product, and it was this 3D kind of virtual game kind of viewfinder. So they sold to Facebook for like, I think, $4 billion in actually 2014. They raised their first $2.4 million in 2012. So we believe that the true opportunity is in this new crowd kind of investing, right? These crowds jumping in and actually following each other. If you just look at this webinar, you'll notice that there's 500 people on it. This is a crowd, and this crowd could actually move a stock or not move a stock or co-invest or actually socially invest into multiple stocks and actually leverage each other. That's what we believe the actual future is now, and we think that the combination of the existing small cap market needs the attention of people like you. So we are here to bring that news and data to you. I'm going to stop there. I think, David, you have some actual closing thoughts.
Yeah, really. No, just a recap, that's already up on the screen. We're all about connecting investors with market luminaries and other investors. We are exposing investment opportunities that were never available to, again, the average retail investors in the past. We have market experts on the site. We have a very robust and social platform. Equities.com should be a place if you want to learn about the small cap markets, if you want to learn about the undiscovered companies that are out there. Not all of them are going to go on to be the big hits, but there are a good percentage of them that will. And you can find them on Equities.com. I think we want to end with a very quick video, and then if you'd like, we'd be happy to answer a couple of questions.
When it comes to smart investing, Equities.com has your back. Never before has the financial community been so supported by such a valuable network. Equities knows that knowledge is power, and timing is everything. If you want to be successful, you need useful and timely content, the right resources and tools, and the ability to connect directly with public issuers, brokers, and industry experts. Equities is a resource center you can rely on, a conversation starter, and a social platform that sparks awareness and action. Over 10,000 public companies are trading on major exchanges today. On Equities, you can find new and exciting prospects. Get a research report on any company you want. See which companies have greater potential to create a profit, and make investment selections with more confidence than ever before. We're here to support you, and we hope the feeling's mutual. Now you have the opportunity to join us as an investor under the new Jobs Act law that allows accredited investors to invest in Equities.com. Equities is targeting a rapidly growing multi-billion-dollar global market. Who's our market? You are. Over 50 million self-directed investors in North America alone. Over 10,000 public companies, 6,000 of which are companies under $1 billion in market capitalization, and over $7 billion raised for private companies online through crowdfunding. Today, over $4 billion in marketing dollars are spent by brokers and financial advisors per year. Equities.com provides a more direct platform for engaging with prospects and customers. Consider these numbers. In the last 120 days, Equities has extended the executive management team with 4 new C-level hires who possess extensive entrepreneurial, financial media, and technology experience. Shortly after, we completed our first acquisition in Canada of VantageWire.com. Equities.com traffic grew by 400% year over year, with an astounding average of 200,000 unique visitors per month and growing approximately 40% month over month. We are proud of our 400% increase in revenue growth year over year, and most of all, our 1,800% growth in Equities.com subscribers. And thanks to you, we've just gotten started. We have a plan for growth, and you can be a part of it. Go to www.crowdfunder.com/equities-com to invest today. We are the equalizer. We are Equities.com.